In this video, I'm going to use a few products that I haven't used before. I just wanted to try them for the first time in front of the camera so that you can kind of see that sometimes things don't always work out when you think that they will. I will be featuring the Natasha Denona Peak Palette, the Ordinary Foundation, and lots more. So let's just play, shall we? Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cristina for those of you that are new, and for those of you who stop by all the time, hello again. Thanks so much for supporting your girl. For the most sincere beauty advice, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and make sure you ding the bell so that you're notified every time that I post a video. So today's new and exciting episode is actually, I'm going to be using some cosmetics that I bought. Some of them I purchased, some of them I got in subscription boxes, but I haven't used them before. And I wanted to kind of, use them showing you how they actually look, so you can see that, not everything works out when you think that it will. I will be featuring in this video Natasha Denona Peak Palette, the Ordinary Foundation, Lashaholic Lashes, and lots more. So if you're interested in getting this look, stay tuned, coming right at you. All right, so let's get into it, shall we? So as I mentioned before, I haven't used this foundation before. I actually bought it from The Ordinary because of the price, to be quite honest. And I got the 2.0 YG coverage. It says it's light medium, yellow undertones with gold highlights. And I also got the 2.1 Y coverage medium in yellow undertones. Now, I have yellow undertones. I mean, if the, the gold and the yellow didn't give it away, but I don't know which one of these will work. I don't know if any of these will work, but I was going based off of the images on the computer, and you know how that goes. So we're gonna see how these go. So let's try the 2.1 Y, just because that's the one that I picked up first. And I'm going to see just how this looks on my skin. Kind of really yellow. So that's not me. So this will, I don't know where that's gonna go, but let's see. The next one is the 2.0 YG. Let's see. If neither one of these work, I'll have to go to my other foundations. But this one looks a lot better. If you can see it at the top there, just appears a little bit better. So we're gonna see what that looks like. I'm gonna give it a go because I really wanted to see how these foundations play out on my face. I've never used them before, and I'm interested in the longevity and on the breakoutedness because they break out for everything. So here we go. All right, so we're gonna prime first. I chose the YG 2.0 from The Ordinary. This is incredibly light, so if this works out, I may add some of these to my kit, so we'll see about that. So first things first, we're gonna do primer, and first one I grabbed here is the Mallee Perfect Prep Moisturizing Primer, or Neutralizing, excuse me, Primer. So I'm just going to put that on. And I don't know about you, but I have a lot of primers. Most of mine are mattifying primers because I have such oily skin, but some of them have a kind of shimmer in them, which I'm not hating lately. I have very oily skin, and I have very large pores. So generally speaking, like anything that shrinks them up and mats it out. But I'm noticing that my skin is changing a little bit, and now when I wash my skin in the morning, when I wash my face in the morning, I feel like it's really tight, and I have to add serums and lotions and things like that. So clearly something's changing in Cristina's world. So now that we have primer on, we're gonna move right on into my corrector. Now this is I think it's Jessa Black, Geccablac, and I got this in one of my beauty box subscriptions, and I haven't really gotten to use it all that well, but I do like the color and I like the consistency. It's kind of runny, and the color is like a salmon color, and I like it because it's so liquidy feeling that I feel like it doesn't really settle into my fine lines under my eye, but it does give kind of that brightening effect that I need. And here's the thing, I not only have dark circles under my eyes, but I have dark spots right here. So I've used my other concealers here, and so, I'm sorry, other correctors here, and it's worked fine. So I'm going to do with this product like I've done with other products and see how that works. Okay, so that's that. I keep reaching back here because this is where my tissues are. Here we go. Okay, I'll keep this one handy. All right, so now that we have that all set, I'm gonna try my foundation. I always like to do foundation before I do concealer, because sometimes if you get the right amount of coverage with your foundation, you won't even need concealer. Now, I don't mean concealer where people use to highlight and contour. I mean concealer that you actually use to conceal, you know, the flaws and things like that on your face. I'm just gonna take my foundation buffer here. So far, I'm not hating the coverage, which is very refreshing. You see how that's changing already. Look at, I didn't do anything here yet. You see the difference? Look at the red lines. This is kind of amazing. Are you looking at this? I have to see myself in there. This is, look how crazy this is. Look at. And this is what I always look for if it disappears into my jaw. See that? There's no demarcation line. And of course, that's what we want in our foundations, right? So this foundation so far, now if it keeps up its performance throughout a long day of mommying, etc., then we've got a new foundation. Next, I'm gonna reach for my Joe Blasco, and we're going to set this a little. I'm actually going to do a little something that I've been doing lately, and it's to keep my makeup on longer. And I'm going to set in between putting the layers on. And what this does is not only does it just keep your makeup on all day long, but it keeps it from transferring to my mask. What? Yes, keeps transferring to the mask. So, all done. So you'll see me do that throughout the video. Next, we're going to go with the eyes. Okay. So normally I would have done my eyes first, but I really want to see what that looks like. So we'll do a little, this is my trusty NYX eyeshadow primer, and this is in color Skin Tone. Now I don't know if you do this, but I do like to do a little bit. I take the edge of my brush and I go into my primer and I go just under my lash line, because since the reason I'm using primer is to keep my products on my face longer, if I'm putting eyeshadow underneath, I want that to last just as long. It also acts as a little bit of a barrier for like bleeding liner or mascara or colors, things like that. If you know what I'm talking about, leave me a yep right down below in the comments. Now we're gonna go in with Natasha Denona, and this palette is called Peak, and it's a mix of beautiful neutral tones here. This is like a bone white color, which is just really, really, really pretty. Then you got the oranges and the browns, and it just really goes well with my skin type. This one here looks like it's a little bit orange, but it's really kind of like a peachy pink color. So we're gonna see how this works. I've not used this palette either, but the colors, I love the colors. So I really wanted to try it out and see how that worked on my lids. And Natasha Denona is Natasha Denona, so it's gotta be good. All right, so I'm gonna go all over my lid with this first color here, which is called Aya, I hope. I always get mixed up with the little pictures on the back of the palettes, like which order they go in. So this is either Aya or Shine. So I'm thinking Shine is this glittery one on the end. So we're gonna say that this is Aya or Aya, A-Y-A is how she spells it. And as we've talked about before, I like to put just a base layer of a neutral tone on my eyelid. All right, next I'm going to use that pinkish shade that I told you here, and that one is called Amara, A-M-H-A-R-A. So I'm going to use just a little domed brush there. I'm gonna tap it. This palette is kind of ridiculous with the color payoff. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised because it is Natasha Denona, and she's, you know, very well known for having just fantastic quality, you know, creamy textures, good color payoff. But I have personally not ever used this palette before. I think I received a one-off shadow in one of my subscription boxes, and it was very, very creamy, and I really did like it, but it's the only one that I ever really got around to trying. And then I got this palette in another subscription box, and I would name the one if I could remember, but I pulled all the stuff out throughout the box and forgot where it came from. But I loved the colors, and I really like the way that they're applying too. They don't seem to be, like, I don't have to build too much. I don't have to keep going back into my palette. So if you're looking for a palette that's gonna last you and is creamy, good color payoff, this is probably one you wanna look at. And I'll leave the link to Natasha Denona's site where you can likely purchase this same palette. All right, now we're going to use this pointy, what's it called? This is by Luxie, and it's a pencil brush. And the reason why I want to use it for this next color is because I'm really going to go into the crease here, and this has such a nice little point on it that I know that I'm going to get in there. Normally I would use something a little bit like this, which is more rounded, but I really like the tip of this brush. Shake off the excess after I dipped it, and I actually put it into Thorn, this one right here, and I'm going to go right into here, and I'm using it just like it would be a pencil. I'm kind of drawing the line on, but I'm keeping everything towards the outside of my eye because I'm trying to do that pulling eye effect out. Now I'm going to go over to the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. And one thing I am noticing is that obviously I did my face first, you saw that, but as I'm applying the shadow, I don't have any fallout from these shadows. And most of the time you would see some kind of a fallout when you do your eyeshadow. Now I'm going to take just a fluffy brush, and normally I don't really care what brush brand it is. Just so you know, it's called the Moda Pro, and it is the Crease Brush that I'm using for this. And I don't normally tell you, you know, it's this brush, it's this brush, it's this brush, because I want you to kind of focus on the shape of the brush. It doesn't have to be the exact brand, the exact number that it says on there. You just look for the shape of the brush, and that way you'll you can get whatever's in your budget to get, and you know, it'll have the same effect. So what I'm doing is, right now I was doing kind of windshield wiper, because I'm kind of spreading the color around. But now I'm going to go to like a swirly to kind of bring the color out. And now I'm going to take this flat, see how if you turn it sideways how thin it looks? It's a flat brush, and this one is from Japonesque or Japonesque. It's a 346, but any kind of flat brush will do this. It's kind of like a smudger brush, and I'm going to take I'm gonna double dip here. And I'm gonna take this shade here and this shade here. I'm gonna pack it onto here and take off the excess. So you can see here, on one side I have this color, on the other side I have this color. So I'm gonna tap it, my nail, tap it on a tissue, and I'm gonna go right under my eye. Going with the lighter one first. And I'm not dipping back into the color because I don't want a huge amount of eyeshadow down here. If you like to bring a lot of eyeshadow underneath, then by all means, have at it. I do not. All right, so there's that. Now we're gonna set that aside and I'm going to brush out my brows, which badly need to be reshaped, but I'm not doing that right now or anytime in the near future, I don't think. And I'm going to take my Mallee, if you can see that in there, can you see that? It's shiny, so it's hard to see. But anyway, this is the Mallee Roncal. It's the Pro Perfect Precision Brow Pencil. And I don't know what color it is. It doesn't actually say it on here, but it's dark. I mean, it matches my brows, so. And I'm just gonna fill in. All right. So now we're gonna do the tight line, and I'm just using my Scandalize eyeliner from Rimmel London, and this is the color Black. It's a waterproof crayon. It's a gel pencil. So I'm just gonna go right underneath my lash line. You could see the difference that it makes. I just tight lined that one and not this one, and you could see how full my lashes look. Great thing about tight lining is that it's almost like an optical illusion. People looking at you don't really see eyeliner, they just see your fuller lashes. So you could actually get away with just tight lining and not actually doing any eyeliner on top. Now, what I like to do when I'm not doing like just a straight winged liner, I like to actually take my crayon and I like to hold my eyelid. For those of you younger may not have to do this. I like to hold my eyelid, kind of look down into the mirror and smudge it. All right, so now that doesn't look great, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I do the same thing to the other side. Okay. So now it looks kind of choppy and blocky, right? But this is what I'm gonna do. I take my, this is so old that the name of it has rubbed off. But anyway, it's a brush that looks like this from the side and this from the front, the top. So it's even thinner than my smudger brush. And this is what I do. I go right over after I've put on that crayon, and I just carry the color in and I carry the color out. See? And then now it's just on the outer corner of my eye. Just a little smudgy pencil and you just drag it up. So I'm gonna go in first, go over the top, which is basically getting the color onto the brush, and then I go out. once you've done this, you kind of just check if the height, I guess, is even. Like if you applied more on one side to the other, that's easily fixable, but I like to finish off the wing first because you never know. It might just be enough to say, I did it. You can see. Simple, right? It really is simple. It's not just because I've been doing this for a little while. It really is that simple. So now I'm just gonna take a look here. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna blend this out a little bit more. You people know how much I need the blending done properly. Okay. So now I'm going to use my bronzer, and this is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a powder bronzer, and the color is Tawny. And I'm going to get my bronzer brush. It's one of my favorite bronzer brushes. It's by Alamar. This one I will tell you up and down. This Alamar bronzer brush is no joke. Can you see the name on there? There it is. No joke. I love, look at that. It's got its own little texture balls there so that you can get it. It's just really good. And I like to bronze. So my setting spray has had quite a good time to dry and settle into my skin. And then I gave a little bit, it just gives your face a little bit more warmth. Next, I'm going to use my, it's a blush trio by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's called Pool Party. And I'm actually going to use this shade in the middle that I've not used before because it's so pretty and I haven't used it. It's just kind of been sitting there. So I'm just gonna use it's a smaller blush brush, and I'm just gonna put some right from the middle. Sparkly and pink. And very pretty. Oh, I like that. You see that? Now, back to my powder brush. I'm not adding any extra powder to it, and I'm just gonna go over my whole look there. Now once again, and if you're wondering which setting powder this is, or setting spray, this is Photo Finish Setting Spray Weightless by Smashbox. I like to fan it because if the little droplets are still falling, I do not want that in my eye. Take out my mascara, and this is Benefit They're Real. I actually got this in a box as well. For thicker lashes, or thicker looking lashes, you do the bottom underneath the lashes, but then go over the top as well. And if you can get used to going like this when you do the top and just out when you do the bottom, like go the other way, you'll be applying more mascara to your lashes and they just look a lot thicker. See, when you look at me, I don't have eyeliner on the bottom. So what I do is I put mascara, but I put it so close to the lash line and rub it back and forth that it leaves a little bit of color on my lash line that kind of looks like eyeliner. All right, so we're almost done with this look. What I'm going to use now is my Ofra, and it is banana powder that literally smells like banana. It's banana powder, go figure. But I'm going to use a smaller brush because I'm going to go just under my eyes. I'm going to just dab it a little bit, shake off the excess, go just under my eyes. Get really as close as I can to my lash line. See how it just kind of brightens up this whole underneath there. All right, so I'm going to put my lashes on and my lips on, and I will be right back. And I'm back. So this is the look after I've applied the lashes. The lashes that I used are Lashaholic Luxury Lashes. And the lip color that I used is this color called LAX by Floss. It's actually called my new favorite lip gloss. It really is though. A simple, everyday, if you choose to look for a full beat. And if you do use my little trick of doing a little spray after each layer then you can actually go out like this with a mask on, minus the gloss though, because the gloss is just a gloss. So if you want to forego that, or maybe do something like a tinted lip balm, or even a matte lipstick if you want to have something on your lips when you go out, this will definitely come off on your mask, but the rest of it stays. So if you want to try my little trick, let me know how it goes. Leave me a comment below and let me know if it actually worked for you. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that on your way to watch another one of my videos that you do subscribe and ding that bell, and leave me a like and a comment below if there's another kind of a look that you'd like to see, more dramatic, more neutral, less steps, whatever it is, let me know, and give me some good ideas to make another video. I will see you next week. Cógelo con take it easy.